I'm setting up today for a couple of hours in Nottingham with Nottingham Writers Studio in order to host this thing which we call Shut Up and Write. The Shut Up and Write movement has run for years. There is an official website, there are lots of chapter meetings all over the world, but the process is very much the same. Somebody acts as a host and a timekeeper, and today for this group, for this our second Shut Up and Write, my role is as the timekeeper and the host of the event. It's a very simple process. Whether you are going to write using a keyboard with a screen, maybe an iPad or a small computer, or whether you're working directly onto something as simple as a spiral-bound, clean-page notebook, which is what I'm going to be working with today, and other people are going to be joining me here in the room at Central Library. The whole process of Shut Up and Write is about coming up with good reasons to say, I can write, I will write, and I'm going to write. Again, sometimes we have a writing device or a tablet or a laptop at home, and we come up with reasons why we won't write. We think, oh, I've got to be in the right frame of mind, I've got to have the right mood, the emotional connection to my art, to my work, but it isn't necessarily that way. What we can do as authors, as writers, is grab a device or grab literally pen and paper, and we start our writing process. It is not a complicated thing. Here, you can see, I'm just going to show it you on here, we're going to start with a 10-minute warm-up exercise, a couple of minutes break, 20 minutes, couple of minutes break, 30 minutes, and then a 15-minute break so people can nip to the loo, grab a coffee, whatever they want to do. And then we start again with 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and a final wrap-up session of 10 minutes where we work to close down the paragraphs or the pages that we're working on. And we know that at the end of those 2 hours, what we've actually done is we've shut up with the excuses, we've stopped with the procrastination, we've said, I'm going to write, this is what's important to me, this is why I have to write, whether it's a story, some poems. In last month's session we had somebody writing an episode from their life story, somebody else working on a short story, me working on a novel, other people writing on different topics that are important to them at the moment. They're literally their work in progress, and going through that process to get ready for moving their words forward, pushing their words forward, and getting to a place where they can say to themselves, I'm really happy with what I've done. I have got to a place where yesterday maybe I hadn't written, or maybe for the last week or 2 weeks I haven't written. But today, in this protected environment of 2 hours, we get to a place where we can write, where we can say, my story is important to me, where we can say, I want this to happen, I want this to be useful, and you make the progress. It's so easy to come up with those excuses and say, oh, I don't have time, I don't have opportunity, woe is me, I cannot write. And whatever type of excuse you have, it doesn't matter. If you're not writing on a regular, consistent basis, they are to some extent excuses. Time will go past day after day after day, and in 6 months' time you might say, oh, I meant to write, I wanted to create something that was put down on paper or captured on screen. Back to that keyboard concept. You know, you've got these tools, but to what extent are you actually using them to get the ideas from here onto your hard drive or into the Word document that you're creating, which you want to feel proud of? If you're not doing it, you will feel worse than if you force yourself to sit down and write. Yeah, so shut up and write, or sit down and write. It is overcoming the excuses that we give to ourselves to say, oh, I can't write. But the only way that we move from being writers to authors is to take this blank page and we turn it into pages that we are writing on, pages where we are adding ink to blank pages. You've heard me say in other videos that we think through the ink, and for me that is how I formulate my ideas. I will take a pen, I'll take my iPad, and I will create something from which a story will develop. It's not that you have to write perfectly every time, and this is part of the problem we have as writers, as creative people, as would-be authors. We deliberate instead of write. We worry instead of writing. We come up with excuses instead of saying, I need to shut myself up and create content. I need to shut my ideas that are preventing me from being thoughtful or calm, and I need to write. What is it that you're doing? What can you do more of that says, I will, with my book or my laptop, I will write. Sometimes we don't write because we haven't made the finishing goal important enough, or because we have fear, and sometimes that fear is enough to freeze our ability to get into action, and it stops us from creating something that's important. And all it takes, and I've shown it here, 10 minutes with pen and paper, or 20 minutes with pen and paper, or you move onto your laptop and you start creating. You have the ideas here all the time, running around in your head, giving you the potential to craft something, giving you the opportunity to just write a poem. Can you take 10 minutes to write a few lines? Out of those 10 minutes, something good will come. If you prove to yourself that you can write for 10 minutes, do you think it's difficult to then say, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write for 20 minutes? No, it's not. Those little actions are ways of reinforcing your brain and saying to yourself, I can write, I have the opportunity, I can take advantage of just little blocks of time. This is all it is. And one of the things I love about Shut Up and Write, and I belonged to a group in South Yorkshire 10 years ago. And I went there on a regular basis. It was only once a month, but very much like the programme that Nottingham Writers Studio is hosting for you and I here in Nottingham. It's an idea, or it's a reminder to say, yes, I can write. I just need to make the time and the opportunity to carry on with that process and record something, capture it ink on paper or capture it on my laptop and say, I have written today, I feel proud of myself, I have made progress with the idea of getting my words out of here and onto a device that is going to make me feel happy that I actually created something. I just wanted to record this short video before the group starts in a few minutes' time and just give you that reminder that you have everything it takes to grab a few minutes out of your day and create something on a consistent basis so that you can make that move from ideas to written production, from ideas to the creation of a story. And probably, it takes time, but probably from the capturing of story to the production and finishing of your book. I hope you found that useful. Wherever you are, you know the message. Be happy in your writing. Happy writing.